The readings will now be given by Bruce.
I will read from the Bible, Jeremiah. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people. And walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. Jonah. Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish, so he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it, to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. But the Lord sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. And they said, every one to his fellow, Come, and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah. Then said they unto him, What shall we do unto thee, that the sea may be calm unto us? For the sea wrought, and was tempestuous. And he said unto them, Take me up, and cast me forth into the sea, so shall the sea be calm unto you. For I know that for my sake this great tempest is upon you. So they took up Jonah, and cast him forth into the sea, and the sea ceased from her raging. Now the Lord had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his God out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. And the Lord spake unto the fish, and it vomited out Jonah upon the dry land. And the word of the Lord came unto Jonah the second time, saying, Arise, go unto Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. So Jonah arose and went unto Nineveh, according to the word of the Lord. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried and said, Yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. So the people of Nineveh believed God, and proclaimed a fast, and put on sackcloth, from the greatest of them even to the least of them. For word came unto the king of Nineveh, and he arose from his throne, and he laid his robe from him, and covered him with sackcloth, and sat in ashes. And he caused it to be proclaimed and published through Nineveh by the decree of the king and his nobles, saying, Let man and beast be covered with sackcloth, and cry mightily unto God. Yea, let them turn, every one, from his evil way, and from the violence that is in their hands. And God saw their works, that they turned from their evil way. And God repented of the evil that he had said that he would do unto them, and he did it not. Psalms. God be merciful unto us, and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us, that thy way may be known upon earth, thy saving health among all nations. O let the nations be glad and sing for joy, for thou shalt judge the people righteously, and govern the nations upon earth. The correlative reading is from Miscellaneous Writings by Mary Baker Eddy. This is the law of truth to error. Thou shalt surely die. This law is a divine energy. Mortals cannot prevent the fulfillment of this law. It covers all sin and its effects. God is all, and by virtue of this nature and allness, he is cognizant only of good. Like a legislative bill that governs millions of mortals, whom the legislators know not, the universal law of God has no knowledge of evil and enters unconsciously the human heart and governs it. Mortals have only to submit to the law of God, come into sympathy with it, and to let his will be done. This unbroken motion of the law of divine love gives to the weary and heavy laden rest. But who is willing to do his will, or to let it be done? Mortals obey their own wills, and so disobey the divine order. All states and stages of human error are met and mastered by divine truths negativing error in the way of God's appointing. Those whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth. His rod brings to view his love, and interprets to mortals the gospel of healing. Peace has no foothold on the false basis that evil should be concealed, and that life and happiness should still attend it. Joy is self-sustained. Goodness and blessedness are one. Suffering is self-inflicted, and good is the master of evil. To this scientific logic and the logic of events, egotism and false charity say, "Not so, Lord. It is wise to cover iniquity and punish it not. Then shall mortals have peace." Divine love, as unconscious as incapable of error, pursues the evil that hideth itself, strips off its disguises, and behold the result. Evil uncovered is self-destroyed. Christian Science never healed a patient without proving with mathematical certainty that error, when found out, is 2/3 destroyed, and the remaining third kills itself. Do men whine over a nest of serpents and post around it placards warning people not to stir up these reptiles because they have stings? Christ said, "They shall take up serpents." And, "Be ye therefore wise as serpents, and harmless as doves." The wisdom of a serpent is to hide itself. The wisdom of God, as revealed in Christian Science, brings the serpent out of its hole, handles it, and takes away its sting. Good deeds are harmless. He who has faith in woman's special adaptability to lead on Christian Science will not be shocked when she puts her foot on the head of the serpent as it biteth at the heel. Charity has the courage of conviction. It may suffer long, but has neither the cowardice nor the foolhardiness to cover iniquity. Charity is love, and love opens the eyes of the blind, rebukes error, and casts it out. Charity never flees before error, lest it should suffer from an encounter. Love your enemies, or you will not lose them. And if you love them, you will help to reform them. Christ points out the way of salvation. His mode is not cowardly, uncharitable, nor unwise, but it teaches mortals to handle serpents and cast out evil. Our own vision must be clear to open the eyes of others, else the blind will lead the blind, and both shall fall. The law of love saith, "Not my will, but thine be done." And Christian Science proves that human will is lost in the divine, and love, the white Christ, is the remunerator. If, consciously or unconsciously, one is at work in a wrong direction, who will step forward and open his eyes to see this error? He who is a Christian Scientist, who has cast the beam out of his own eye, speaks plainly to the offender and tries to show his errors to him before letting another know it. All that I have written, taught, or lived that is good flowed through cross-bearing, self-forgetfulness, and my faith in the right. Suffering or science or both, in the proportion that their instructions are assimilated, will point the way, shorten the process, and consummate the joys of acquiescence in the methods of divine love. The Scripture saith, "He that covereth his sins shall not prosper." No risk is so stupendous as to neglect opportunities which God giveth, and not to forewarn and forearm our fellow mortals against the evil, which, if seen, can be destroyed. May my friends and my enemies so profit by these waymarks that what has chastened and illumined another's way may perfect their own lives by gentle benedictions. In every age, the pioneer reformer must pass through a baptism of fire. But the faithful adherents of truth have gone on rejoicing.